And hello everyone, my name of course is Dr. Liam Schubel. I want to wish you a very happy St. Patrick's Day from here in the People's Republic of New Jersey. We're in the East Wing of the Schubel Mansion, and I got to tell you, we have a show lined up for you today. You know, it's been a while since I've been live, and a lot of people have been asking me, of course, lately to make some comments about this current crisis that we're in. And so I decided to make that happen today. Do me a favor, like this, comment on it, and share it, because a lot of people are going to be able to learn from the comments that I'm making today. There's really a huge paradigm shift happening worldwide. You know, this is what happens in times of crisis. That's when leaders start to emerge, as Rudolph Giuliani, the famous ex-mayor of New York City that took care of the crisis of 9/11, once said, right now we are living in times of absolute uncertainty, and that is the moment when he or she who has the most certainty wins. This is opportunity. There has to be a paradigm shift taking place, and it can go either way. The paradigm shift could go a full-on outside in or full-on inside out. This is the time to speak up, tell the truth, and get the message out. So let's get into this right now. I'm going to share this on a few groups. Please do me a favor, like, share, and comment. It's probably going to be the greatest Schubel Vision Elite Facebook Live ever in the history. I've got some great stuff from you. I got some things from Forbes coming out, Forbes magazine. I have some things of what you should be doing in your offices right now. There's certain docs around the world. By the way, this is for around the world, folks. Let me tell you, we're not just in a bubble here. You know, there's docs that have their offices closed right now. Some of my offices, actually all of my offices in Peru, are closed by presidential decree. And so I'm going to tell you what you should be doing if your office is closed, what you should be doing if your office is open, and how can we better adapt and thrive in this current crisis that we're in. I'm going to share this in a few groups. Do me a favor and share this around. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the greatest Schubel Vision Elites ever in the history of Schubel Vision Elite lives. Let me get this shared to a couple of groups here, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. Talk amongst yourselves for right now. But I mean, I got to tell you, it's going to be shocking, some of the things that I'm going to tell you during this broadcast, and it's going to be inspiring. Okay, so get shocked down to the core, but then get ready to get up and take over. This is what we're going to be doing today. Let me get this shared around, make it happen on some different timelines here. Folks, I got to tell you, I have never seen anything like this in my history of living on the planet. And I have to tell you, again, that this is the time when we can make one of the biggest impacts ever in history. If we have the truth, we have the information, and we speak up. So here we go. Let's start it out. We're getting ready to rock and roll. I hope you shared this, because gosh, this is going to benefit so many people. First of all, let me tell you what I was doing in December when this COVID thing first came out. I think it came out November, December in China. Here's what I was doing. I was fighting for my rights as a parent here in the state of New Jersey. We were in a situation where the government was wanting to mandate vaccination against things like measles, mumps, rubella, pertussis, chickenpox, varicella, otherwise known as. And I couldn't believe it, because we're in the United States of America. And I kept hearing CDC, 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 CDC. The CDC. That was the benchmark. We're looking at the CDC. And I kept looking at the information, the scientific studies out there, and I kept saying, gosh, why do they want to vaccinate absolutely every single person on the planet? This doesn't make any sense. In the state of New Jersey, we're talking about 2.8% religious exemption. If 97 point something percent of the population is vaccinated, What are they so worried about? And I looked at the measles stats for 2019 in the state of New Jersey, because evidently, if there's such a rush to move towards mandated vaccine, there has to be some level of crisis. And I looked at the stats and I said, 16 measles cases in the state of New Jersey, no deaths. That's the crisis? This is not making any sense. Well, we need herd immunity. And then I started to investigate the facts behind herd immunity. And I said, this is not making any sense. Because when a person is in crisis and in fear mode, they go into what we call myopic vision, right? So you're in front of a tiger. All you see, you don't see my bookshelf in the back. You don't see my beautiful view out here. It's all whited out. What do you see? You see the teeth of that tiger. You've got myopic vision. You're focused in just on the teeth of the tiger. That's what's happening with the vaccine policy. 16 measles cases in the state of New Jersey. Oh my gosh, look at those teeth. We've got to do something. We've got to mandate vaccination. And what happens when you have myopic vision, and this is exactly what's happening in the vaccine mandates, is that they look at the children. They say, we got to save the children. We've got to do something to save the immunocompromised. And then you start to study about herd immunity and you say, well, wait a minute. Why are they focused just on the children? They're focused just on the children, as if the children lived in a bubble. And we know that the children don't live in a bubble. And we know that there's two facts about vaccination science, and that is primary vaccine failure and secondary vaccine failure. The primary vaccine failure is that 2 to 10% of all people vaccinated are not going to have any immune response. So there's a failure right there. If you have 100% vaccinated, no, you don't. And then the secondary vaccine failure is called waning immunity. When you're vaccinated, you don't have natural immunity. Natural immunity lasts for life. So you look at the CDC and you look at they're quoting herd immunity, and you look at they're saying there's a crisis, and then you look at what their solution to the crisis is, and that's to vaccinate only children, all of them. No exceptions. No religious exemption, no body autonomy allowed. You're not living in free United States of America or wherever you live in the world. You can't choose what medical procedures you want and don't want, because it's for the good of the people, because of this herd immunity myth that's mentioned by the CDC constantly. They're not talking about primary vaccine failure. They're not talking about secondary vaccine failure. So I'm saying to myself, well, if there was a crisis, what would be the best solution? With measles, with pertussis, right? And that's already written into the law, into the healthcare system law. You know what the best solution is? You know what the best solution is? It's happening right now for the coronavirus. The best solution is quarantine. The best solution is distancing. And this is what happens. If there is an outbreak in a school of one of these infectious situations, they quarantine. Then if that's the case, if that's the most effective, and we've seen that now, they truly believe that that's the most effective method, then why are we forcing the vaccine issue? There's no crisis. And now here's the big enchilada. You ready for this? Oh, Steve Forbes, I love you. I love you, Steve Forbes. Hey, Steve Forbes, if you're watching, Steve, I'll call you Steve. If you're watching, come over to the mansion right now. I'm going to check your spine and get you adjusted. I love you, Steve Forbes. You're the best. Look at this. This guy is out there telling the truth. Forbes magazine, March 14th. And he says, when the COVID-19 crisis passes, a national nonpartisan committee will be formed to thoroughly examine the lethal failure of Centers for Disease Control. That's right, the CDC, lethal failure to properly handle the upcoming deadly virus. Where was their focus? The CDC is supposed to be vigilantly scouting the world to uncover potentially dangerous illnesses. usually in cooperation with others, deal with them before they significantly harm the U.S. One would think, after the experiences with SARS, swine flu, Ebola, the CDC would have been ready. But where were they focused with their myopic vision? On our children. On measles. 16 cases in New Jersey in 2019. No deaths. Pertussis. 100% vaccinated in a school in Texas. And they still had an outbreak. Why? Primary, secondary vaccine failure. Solution? Quarantine. That's where they've been focused. Absolute, abject failure. And now we want to look at them as an authority? And now we want to line up and get vaccinated with this new coronavirus? Conflicts clarify. You know, I looked at what is going on here from a bigger perspective. This crisis that we're in, supposedly. This crisis that we're in worldwide. I look at it from a bigger perspective. I say to myself, if the CDC are the experts, and you've heard this a lot, right, online, haven't you? Oh, you're just a chiropractor. What do you know, when you get a degree in immunology, when you get a degree in medicine, then you could talk. Oh, you're just a mom, who has a child that was perfectly normal, and then after the vaccine, they were flopping on the ground like a fish, and now they're wearing diapers for the rest of their life. Oh, that's a total coincidence. I'm the expert. Not me, I'm not saying, but this is an example. I'm the medical doctor. I'm the immunologist. Or you know what? Hey, listen, that happens. But we got to do this for the good of the rest of everybody. You got to sacrifice your child for the good of the rest of the people. This is what the experts are saying, quote unquote. This is what the CDC is talking about. And I say to myself, what are the experts advising to us? Ready? These are the most studied people in the world on immunology. Oh, they're immunologists. I'm not. They are, chief medical doctors. I'm not. What are they recommending to the population right now? Because, right, the CDC is in charge of vigilantly scouting the world to uncover potentially dangerous. Oh, CDC, tell us what we should do. You're the esteemed experts, nobody else. Okay, here's what they're telling us to do. You ready? With all this education, with all this great level of expertise, that God help you if you question them. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're an anti-vaxxing wacko. God help you if you question these experts, these esteemed geniuses. What are they telling us to do with all their knowledge? Ready? This is what I've heard. I know you've heard it. You're sitting at home and you're saying, what should I do? I'm just a lowly person that doesn't know anything. And I'm scared. And I'm afraid. What should I do? Ready? Distance yourself from other people and wash your hands. That's all you got? Distance myself from other people and wash my hands? And how long do I do that? Well, you just wait until we figure out some drugs to give you to help you. And you just wait till we figure out a vaccine to help you. That's the solution from these esteemed experts? What kind of insanity is this? Why are we not focused? And this is where it's all going to come down. In crisis, times of crisis, conflicts clarify. This is where it's all going to come down to. Are you going to continue to buy into the model of pathogenesis, where we consistently focus on pathology and disease end event and study that and try to treat that? Or are we going to change, flip the model over to a model of salutogenesis? Where is the origin of health? How can I, as we say in Spanish, fortalecer, how can I strengthen my own internal power to adapt to the external environment? Because in the end, my friends, that's what thriving is all about. It's your internal ability to adapt and thrive in whatever environment's thrown at you. And if that's the case, you have to ask yourself, why are we not getting from the CDC a list of all the things that we can be doing to strengthen our internal force? Sounds like they need a chiropractor in the CDC at a high level, because they've got the pathology covered, they've got the disease process hammered out, but what we need in the meantime are solutions that we can work on that empower us. CDC, what supplements should we be taking? Should I be taking vitamin D3? How much? Should I be taking vitamin C? How much? Is there any truth to this elderberry syrup? Should I be involved with that? Should I be doing exercise every day, CDC? How much? What do the studies show? You're the experts. What do the studies show about exercise and how to boost the immune system? CDC, should I be meditating today to improve my immune system? How much should I meditate? Do you have a program that you've developed with all the billions of dollars that you've received from the federal government on how to meditate to improve the immune system? Hey, should I be going to see my chiropractor, CDC? CDC, have you seen any of the chiropractic studies that show that the immune system is boosted through chiropractic adjustments? CDC, can you please help us? Or do we have to just distance ourselves and wait around for a toxic outside-in solution from you? Whether that be a harmful, invasive medical procedure or a harmful, invasive chemical that we have to take. CDC, you're the experts. What should we do? Do you have a chiropractor on staff? You know, every major sports team in the world has a chiropractor on staff. Why do you think that is? Could it be because the difference between 99% functioning nerve system and 100% functioning nerve system is worth millions of dollars? What would a 100% functioning nervous system in all of humanity mean to the healthcare costs in the world? You see, now is the time that we can make the shift from a pathogenic model to a salutogenic model. And that's not saying that we don't need pathogenesis. We don't need to be studying pathology. We don't need to be studying drug therapies. We don't need to be studying those type of things. But there's a yin and a yang. We also have to be promoting salutogenesis. We have to be promoting the strengthening of our internal force from the inside out so that we become empowered as individuals. And don't you think that healthcare costs would dramatically be reduced if every human being was empowered with the knowledge of how to strengthen themselves from the inside out rather than becoming dependent on something from the outside in? CDC, when are you going to have a chiropractor on your healthcare team? Every professional sports team has a chiropractor on their healthcare team because they're interested in optimal functioning nerve systems, because they understand that the nerve system is the master control system. It's the system that controls and coordinates every cell, tissue, and organ structure in your body. It controls the immune function. It controls the gastrointestinal system. It controls the cardiovascular system. It's huge, as our presidents would say. Hey, listen. They've been laughing a long time, even chiropractors, about these books. Oh, you've never seen this? Oh, you've never heard of this? CDC. You've never heard of this? These are called B.J. Palmer's Green Books. Dr. B.J. Palmer, the developer of the chiropractic science and philosophy. 1950. Oh, that's archaic. And by the way, folks, chiropractors, stay on board. I know I got a lot of people watching, And I know I have a lot of lay people watching as well, and that's great and that's exciting. And I give a shout out to all of you. Please like this, please share it, please comment. This is huge, folks. Transformation about ready to take place. Look what happens when I do this to the book. The background changes. Anyway, transformation. Chiropractors, I'm going to get to the end what you should be doing in your office right now to adapt to thrive. Oh, opportunity. Opportunity to help people like you've never helped people before. Within crisis, that's when the leaders emerge. That's when the opportunity happens. The greater the crisis, the greater the level of opportunity, if you're empowered to take advantage of that. Fight to Climb. Written in 1950. I bet you never heard of it. Written in 1950. I bet you never heard of it. Fight to Climb. Dr. B.J. Palmer. Go to your library. Bet it's not there. B.J. Palmer was talking about exactly what's happening today. That divergence in healthcare, where there's a battle between a pathogenic model and a salutogenic model. I read a little bit of Dr. B.J. Palmer. We hardly blame physician when he calls chiropractor ignorant. Haven't we heard that? We are ignorant of everything he thinks essential. We call him ignorant. He is ignorant of everything we think necessary. He thinks we must learn everything he learns to be able to do nothing he does. He's right. We think he should learn everything we learn to do anything we do. We are right. He thinks we must study diseased end. He studies to change that diseased end to condition he thinks disease end must reach. And if we desire to change disease end to condition he thinks that end must reach, then we would have to study his subjects and do what he does to do it. We think he should study our spinal column to change subluxation, to relieve pressure, to restore quantity flow of human electrical flows, and if desired, to change the subluxation to correct conditions, subluxation must be adjusted to. He would need to study our subjects and do what we do to do it. We admit we're ignorant of things he thinks we must know. He admits he is ignorant of things we think he should know. Because our problem and its solution is the opposite, each thinks in terms of opposite, acts in terms of opposite, and accomplishes objectives in terms of opposite. That is why he is a physician and surgeon, and why we are a chiropractor. He believes in the principle and practice of medicine. We believe in the principle and practice of chiropractic, neither of which is like unto the other. Neither could one substitute educational subjects or practices for each other. Chiropractors have competently equipped schools wherein principles, practices, and subjects essential thereto are adequately taught with ample clinical facilities, graduating them in the subject, issuing diplomas, after which they take examinations and secure licenses in all but 3 of the states of the United States. Can you believe that? In 1950, not every state in the United States was licensed to practice chiropractic. I'm going to tell you a story real quick. When I first went to Peru, I went to Peru January 10th, 1996. I arrived in Peru as a chiropractor, one of the first chiropractors to ever go to that country. And within 6 months, I was seeing 1,000 patients a visit. I was getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, analyzing x-rays till 7 a.m. And then I would take care of people till about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, eat a 5-minute snack, and then go and take care of people till 11, 12 o'clock at night. Lines out the door. I was on all over the television. Started to have a huge amount of success. And instead of people congratulating me from the mechanistic disease pathology treating model of medicine, you know what happened? I had a warrant issued for my arrest for practicing medicine without a license. You may not know this, but the same thing happened in the United States. And we're talking 1950. People still were not licensed to practice, could not get a license to practice in certain states. I know in Louisiana, I met a doctor of chiropractic that had to leave that state in the, I think it was the 50s or 60s, because the judge saw him in front of the court. He refused to stop practicing chiropractic. He refused to stop helping people. And the judge said, if I catch you one more time, I'm going to have you hanged. People don't know this. People don't know that the AMA, the Chester Wilk case in the 70s, that chiropractic, it was determined in the Supreme Court that the American Medical Association had an organized mission to contain and eliminate chiropractic. Well, I got to tell you, that time is over. And we've seen right now with this crisis that these experts, the only thing they can offer us is social distancing and washing our hands. Well, I'm not going to wash my hands of this. I'm going to speak up about this. And it's time that we adopt a unified position in healthcare in this country. And that unified position cannot just be focused. It's got to be for the benefit of the people. It's got to be. Healthcare has to be for the benefit of the people, not for the benefit of the egos of the people that are in charge of healthcare. It can't be for the benefit of the pharmaceutical industry. It has to be for the benefit of the people. And the way you do that is marry the two of those. You have to have experts in vitalism, experts in salutogenesis, as well as the experts that we currently have in pathogenesis and studying end-stage disease. Those two have to unify for the benefit of the patient and practice member. As B.J. Palmer talked about in Fight to Climb, we have opposite goals. Medicine and chiropractic, opposite goals. But the goal that we can share is working for the good of the practice member, working for the good of the people. So folks, I know a lot of you who are chiropractors are concerned, as any small business owner is concerned during this time of crisis, because of all the social distancing that's going on. Some of you are seeing a reduced number of clientele in your office. People are afraid to come in. And many would argue they're afraid to come in at probably one of the most important times ever that they need to come in. Because as we know, the scientific studies show that regular chiropractic care tremendously boosts the internal resistance and tremendously boosts the immune system. There is study after study after study that shows that. And I know a lot of doctors of chiropractic right now in Italy. I know in Peru, for example, I had 17 of my offices there shut down last week by presidential decree. And it's what it looks like it's going to get worse and worse. What do you do when that happens? What do you do when your office is shut down? So I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to talk about what you should be doing if your office is open. And John Cormier I probably butchered your last name, John. Dr. John is in Italy, and he's been closed there. And I love watching his videos because he's showing what he's doing to be positive and grow during these times of crisis. If your office is shut down, here's what we're doing. We are focused. When you're in business as usual mode, do you ever find like a lot of times you don't have a lot of time to focus on maybe growth and expansion and creativity and thinking up new ideas and working out new marketing strategies, maybe honing your persuasion techniques, working on your technique, your ability to detect, analyze, and adjust vertebral subluxation. These are the times that you should be going back into your business systems and fine-tuning them. For example, right now I have my graphic design, but they're loving it. My graphic design people, they're always under the gun because we're doing a lot of promotion. Well, right now our offices are closed. So now they're working fully on developing different graphics that we can use to talk about the immune system, that when this is over, we're going to come out full force. Same thing, I've got my marketing team working on marketing strategies, full force. Because they're not in the mix of doing their daily activity. My doctors of chiropractic right now, they're focusing back on their communication strategies. They're learning their day 1, their day 2, their day 3 group presentation. They're learning their 3-minute x-ray report. They're honing their communication skills. They're working, with other doctors and they're practicing. And by the way, they're looking for critique because they have the time. Normally, you wouldn't have the time to go back into your systems because you're busy with the day-to-day operations. And Michael Jordan, the greatest, many would argue, the greatest basketball player ever in the history of the sport, He always said when he wanted to go to a different level, he would go back to the basics. So now's the time. If your office is closed, you should be going back to the basics and basics. And in Schubel Vision Elite, by the way, that's a mentorship group that I do that focuses specifically on the business of chiropractic. We know that there's 5 core fundamentals for business growth and expansion. And by the way, this would apply to anybody watching this. If you have a business, these are the 5 core key elements that you need to be working on. And if your business is closed right now, get back into these basics. You have to be working on mindset. You have to be working on communication. You have to be working on marketing. You have to be working on conversion, what some people would call sales. And you have to be working on your systems to hire, train, and motivate staff. This is a godsend. This time off that you have. Don't be sitting around watching Beavis and Butthead. Okay, don't be that guy. Don't be watching The Simpsons. Get back into the game and improve and up your game. Go back to the basics, like Michael Jordan. You think all these professional basketball players, by the way, right now, are sitting around at home? You better believe they're not. They're in their private courts, shooting layups, shooting the hoops, shooting the free throws. They're practicing for when they're going to be put back out. And I suggest to you that when you come back after this demoralization that's taking place worldwide, you're going to be stronger than ever. That's if your office is shut down. If your office is open, and by the way, also, if your office is open or shut down, this is for both people. Right now, worldwide, we have a captive audience. A lot of you, by the way, this is Tuesday morning, 10:46 a.m. I got 70 or 80 viewers. I would not have this if everybody was in their office right now. I know a lot of you are watching because you're not working. There's a lot of people just like you that are watching because they're not working. So the loser says, oh, we're shut down. Oh, woe is me. Oh, too bad for me. The winner says, what can I do to thrive? You should be creating Facebook Lives like I'm doing right now and content for your Facebook and for your webpage that addresses the problems and challenges that people are having either right now or in the future, and how chiropractic can help them overcome those challenges. Now's the time. I didn't have time before to create this content because I was busy just trying to get through the day. Now's the time that you should be creating massive levels of content. Can you imagine if you sat down today with a video recorder and just went through, I'm going to talk about chiropractic and herniated disc. I'm going to talk about chiropractic and back pain and neck pain. I'm going to talk about chiropractic and the immune function. I'm talking about chiropractic and how it helps the digestive system. I'm going to talk about chiropractic and pregnancy. I'm going to talk about chiropractic in children. Imagine all the production. Produce. What you put into it, you will get out of it. So take advantage of this time that you have off to create more content, to serve more people, and improve the quality of your systems so that when you are allowed back out of the gate, you take off running higher than ever before. And I got to tell you, after being locked up worldwide, these people are going to come out, and you don't think they're going to want to thrive better than ever before? And who's the person that's going to serve them? You. So those are the type of things I'd be working on in my office right now if I were you during this quote-unquote crisis. CDC, abject failure. All they got for us is wash your hands and social distance. Abject failure, experts of the world. What they need to do is start embracing a more vitalistic, a more salutogenic model of health. And you know what? When they start to focus more on that, the whole world is going to be better off. And isn't that in reality what, if you truly believe in the universal forces, isn't that really what happens in the end? Every crisis, everything that happens to us, if we look back over time, is always going to be better for the general overall population in the future. So let's take advantage of this time that we have off. Let's take advantage of the downtime to make ourselves better professionals, better humans, and better servants of humanity by improving the quality of our systems and the quality of our ability to deliver the message. Hey, love you guys, appreciate you. If you want more information and you'd like to mentor with us, we work with doctors of chiropractic all around the world to help their practices grow and thrive, no matter what the situation. You can go on www.schubelvisionelite.com, schubelvisionelite.com, and we'd be happy to help you grow your practice by working on the fundamental systems of business. Learn how to be a better servant to humanity. Love you guys, appreciate you. Schubelnator signing off from the East Wing of the Schubel Mansion here in the People's Republic of New Jersey, United States of America. Hey, for all of you, those that are locked indoors, I love you. I appreciate it. Things are going to get better. I guarantee it. Things are going to get better. Just keep your head up and keep focusing on what you can do to improve yourself from the inside out. Schubelnator out.